Hello, I'm Anita of My Drink and I podcast, and wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a fabulous day. And if you're seeing the show for the very first time and you like the show, please subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification bell so when an episode comes out, you'll be the first to know. Well, guys, you haven't seen me in a very long time. I had a prior commitment, so I was a little busy attending to that commitment, but I am back. I had promised when I had returned from the Caribbean to do a video every day. I started off very good and I will continue, but I had this prior commitment and I had to attend to it. So I'm very sorry if you guys haven't seen me in a very long time, and a long time is a week really. So anyways, we're back. A lot happened since I took my hiatus, since I was gone for a week. And let me just give you guys a little bit of what took place. So Archewell Foundation, we had great news. When they did the comparison between Archewell Foundation and Obama's foundation, as well as Hillary Clinton or the Clintons' foundation, they found out that Archewell Foundation in its first year compared to the first year of both Obama and the Clinton Foundation, that Archewell Foundation is on a very good start. Their numbers were much higher than both the other foundations, meaning that they raised more money and they were able to spend more than what the both other foundations, the Obama and Clinton Foundation, spent and raised. So for a young foundation and two young people like Harry and Meghan, doesn't have the kind of when I say power or recognition, they do have the recognition, but the type of power, the roles that they had in the past, like for example, Obama, former president of the United States, Bill Clinton, former president of the United States. So when I talk about when I talk about power, I'm talking about, when you look at their past resume. Okay, so and they're so on. So the Archewell Foundation is definitely starting off very well, and the future looks really bright for them, for them to be able to come out in the first year and raise that kind of money and be able to give back. And we're talking about the Archewell Foundation was able to, create their own NAACP award, that digital award, and all the other things that they're doing. Is just, you can think about with Ving Project, where they're giving women $1,000, if they're nominated by, people who are seeing them in their community that is doing great things. So a lot of things, a lot of partnership, a lot of giveaway with Archewell, a lot of hands-on work. When they released their data, it was so inclusive, and the details, you just had to sift through it and just see the depth of it. So it's just a beautiful thing indeed. Okay, so a lot said there about Archewell Foundation. And the next thing also is Harry's court case. So we have another hearing, and this time it's against the Daily Fail, the corporation that brings you the Daily Fail, the Sunday Fail, and what have you. So this one is about phone hacking, acquiring, personal information about different individuals, including Harry, Elton John, Elizabeth Hurley, Sadie Frost. So that case is going to be on the docket on March 27th, and that's when that starts. So we'll definitely be hearing what is going on. And one of the things Harry said, he's going to make the media, the UK media, accountable for the things that they have done. Let us not forget, if it wasn't for the paparazzi, Diana would still be here today. So Harry, he has a right to make them accountable for all what they've done, the intrusive things that they've done to people, and the indirect result of his mother's passing. So he is on a mission, and he is And that mission literally is to make people accountable, literally. Okay, so we'll be tuning in, and I'm just praying, and I hope you guys pray for Harry that he wins his cases. We know we had a pre-trial on the earlier in the month. I think that was on the 17th of March, where it was about his libel case against the Daily Fail. That Daily Fail, they don't stop. But anyway, it was against the Daily Fail, where they wrote this article claiming that Harry misled the public, and it was only when, it came out that he was suing the UK government for his security. That's when he went and he said that he offered to pay for his security. That's what they claiming, but that was not true. He had already offered, and then he sued. So they were all wrong. And what Harry asked the judge is to rule in his lawyer asked the judge is to rule in his favor, because the failed evidence is baseless. They do not have any evidence to defend themselves. So he's asking the judge to rule in his favor, and we're waiting for that hearing. Also, what came out of that also too is that one of the things that the Met Police said in the United Kingdom is that if Harry is coming to England, they would like to know 28 days in advance so that they could provide security for him. I'm thinking this is ridiculous, because how, yes, I can understand Harry, since he has so many engagements, he can have a calendar that is planned months in advance. But the United Kingdom is Harry's home country. If he has to leave and come to England for any reason, it shouldn't have to be a notice of 28 days. I feel like at least you can give these people 24 to 48 hours notice to let them know that you are coming, so that they can provide the security that you need. It doesn't have to be 28 days, because it might not be an issue that occurred months in advance where you can pre-plan. It can be a right then and there event that is occurred, and you just have to be in England and you need that security. So I just feel like, once again, they're forcing Harry's hand. Once again, they want information as to when he's coming to England, so they could blab about it and go to the press about it, or sell the information early. Look, the coronation is coming up. They can know firsthand if Harry and Meghan and their children are coming to England when they get that information 28 days in advance. So I think 24 to 48 hours in advance is enough. It's already a working Met Police. It's not like something they have to put together for them to create that security. No, it's something that is already detailed and there. It's just to act upon it. So I don't understand the 28 days. And one of the things that I read along those lines is that Harry felt like, he doesn't feel safe with his children and his wife in the United Kingdom, and rightfully so. We've seen all the articles, we've seen the reports about the threats against Harry and his wife. And why the threats? Simply because he married to a black woman. In this day and age, that somebody would have so many death threats and people wanting to hurt them just because they married to a woman of color. It's just incredible. That's the world that we're living in, this 21st century. You would think that you're living back in the day 400 years ago, when people were lynching people for getting involved with a white a race that was outside of what their race is. So it's incredible that this is still going on. But and also too, the right-wing media, they're also trying to put division between the people that support Meghan and Harry. And I see them. I see exactly what they're trying to do. We've seen when, we had our former president, Donald Trump, in power. We see how they work. We've seen their operation. It's very divisive, and this is what they're trying to do. Case in point, they're saying that Oprah is trying to distance herself from from Meghan and Harry, and it's ludicrous. What has Harry and Meghan done that is different from what Oprah has done? Oprah has written book. Oprah has been outspoken about, the abuse in her family. She has spoken about how some people in her family that she's staying away from. So I am not seeing anything that makes Oprah superior to Harry and Meghan, why she would want to distance herself from them. It makes no sense. And for anybody who is watching and has been, studying what the media has been doing, it's a kind of way of breaking down people trying to divide and conquer. So they chip away and chip away and chip away with all this misinformation, and eventually what you do, you start believing in everything that you're hearing. And there are a lot of vulnerable people out there that's going to believe that stuff that is not in the know. So we definitely have to call them out when they say those types of things, because we know that all of this is erroneous, it's wrong, it's a lie, and we definitely have to call them out. Meghan, we do not know the relationship that is going on and the interaction that is taking place between the Sussexes and Oprah and all of their friends. We do not know, because Meghan and Harry is not in England. Their business are not out in the public. As far as I'm concerned, Meghan and Harry could be at dinner every week with Oprah, and we do not know. Okay? So this is their way of trying to show, or trying to force people into believing that the world is turning against the Sussexes, and the Sussexes are isolated and they have no friends and family in the United States. That's what they're doing. And you keep hearing it and hearing it over and over, for the people who don't know better, and they're going to start believing it. But it's wrong and it's a lie. Once again, too, that right-wing media out in the United Kingdom, they are still beating the dead horse that is the coronation. They are still questioning the fact of whether Harry and Meghan is going to come to the coronation, and the children have not been invited. They are making up the story as they're going along. Meanwhile, I'm telling you, Curl Charles or Curl Chucky could care less if Harry and Meghan doesn't come, because I don't think he cares about them that much. I think the only person that Charles cares about is Camilla. As long as Camilla is there, he's happy, he's good. Okay? It is the UK media that is trying to, force the idea of whether Harry and Meghan is going to be at the coronation, because they know that if Harry and Meghan comes, it's going to be a big payday for them. They know they're going to be making money off the stories, every move Meghan make and Harry make, everything they say, everything, they're going to be making money off of it. They're going to be making money off those pictures. So what they're doing is dragging it on until, the fact about it is, this is their logic. They're dragging this out to pick up some coins along the way, just in case if the Sussexes doesn't come. And if the Sussexes come, that is going to be their big payday. So they're making money talking about the Sussexes, whether or not they're going to be at the coronation or not. And they're also hoping for the big payday if the Sussexes shows up. And they're also building up a story that if the Sussexes doesn't show up, to talk about them in a negative way, to say, oh, well, Prince Charles invited them and they didn't show up, and he's trying to put out the olive branch out there, and Harry and Meghan, they are denying Charles of a relationship with them. That is what they're going to say at the end of the day. But as I said, Prince Charles, Chucky, he doesn't care anything about Harry and Meghan. He doesn't care about them. All he cares is maintaining that monarchy, maintaining his image, and Camilla. That is the only person in the world that Charles has ever cared about, is Camilla, Cowmilla. That's the only woman he has ever cared about. As long as she's good, he's good. Okay? So they need to stop. I'm seeing right through them. that divisive UK media out there. Once again, as I said, Harry is an angel. That's the reason why I keep supporting them, and that's the reason why I will defend them to the end. Harry is an angel. It was so beautiful to see that couple the other day on that show, SOS Fix My Car. Harry literally brought him, a grown man. Harry brought a grown man to tears just by, calling in and congratulating him and saying kind words to him. Harry brought him to tears. It was so beautiful to see. And that is the reason why the UK, I believe, the United Kingdom missed out on a huge opportunity with the Sussexes. We saw William the other day in Poland greeting some soldiers, and you can see that William was out of place. William doesn't really care about any military servicemen. He is not that type of person. William was groomed for the throne. A king is always removed from his people. He's living a different life. That is the life that William was groomed for. Harry was sort of the person that was supposed to gather the people, gather all the king's men, bring them along, make them feel comfortable. That is how they train Harry. And you can see when Harry socializes with people, when he is in a crowd, he knows how to work the crowd. He knows how to draw people. People drop their guards again when Harry is around them, because he is that warm and he is legit. He is the real deal. That's the reason why people are able to feel like, I have no walls to put up when I'm with Harry. I could just be myself. And you see that. But when William is around, you can see it is forced. You can see it is not natural. You can see he's a fish out of water. He's just pretending. He is not real. And they are forcing him on these soldiers, and clearly he is not the person. He's the wrong person to have been doing that job. Trying to force him on the military servicemen is a bad look for the United Kingdom. Okay. And I say they missed that opportunity. They could have had the Sussexes in England literally working for them, bringing the country together, supporting that monarchy. And what did they do? They threw them under the bus. They threw them to the wolves, as Meghan said it. They handed them over to the UK media, trying to put them down and lift up the Waleses. That's what happened. Jealousy is an ugly thing, and that is what happened over there. And guess what? It is their loss, and they are paying the price now for it. Now the other thing again with William that he did yesterday, the other day, is that there was some racial abuse with some young soccer players in England, and he wrote a letter condemning that type of behavior. Now look at it. Look at the double standards here. Meghan has been going through so much, the racial undertone, the negative press in England. The only word that they haven't used is to call Meghan nigger. That is the only word. They haven't outright said it. But the innuendos that they use, the dog whistling that we see in the United Kingdom, the only thing I say that they're missing is to say nigger, to refer to Meghan as a nigger. Sorry, I'm saying that word. I don't like to say that word. That word is not part of my vernacular. It's not part of my language. But I'm just being upfront and I'm being real. And here William is coming to the defense of other people, before he comes to the defense of Meghan. There is a saying that charity begins at home. And I didn't see that in William. If he cannot treat the people in his immediate family decent and brotherly and kind, there is no way that he's going to treat outsiders any better. Because you know what? What he's doing is all a game. It's all pretending, as other people said. It's just literally acting, performance PR. That's what he's doing. He doesn't care about people mistreating little black children or minority children in a bad way. He doesn't care if they're being racist to them, because all he cares about is what his family looks like in the press. If he had cared when Harry had written that letter to the public and to the media, he would have been right there. He wouldn't have gone and attack Harry for Meghan. He would not have done that. He would have been a big brother there supporting Harry and letting the press know, when you attack Harry and you attack Harry's wife, you attack me too. And we love Meghan. That's what he should have been doing. No, I am saying that William is nothing but a farce. He's fake. He is literally fake. He is fake. He's a phony. He doesn't mean what he says. Okay? Because as I said, charity begins at home. You know how people are based on how they treat their immediate family. Okay? So by him going out there and defending and, casting judgment on the people who are doing it, which is a wrong thing that they did. And, it's good that he sent out the letter, but what could have been even better for William and for him to be more, for people to trust him more, or for him to be more believable, is if he had defended or put out a statement, if their family had put out a statement when Meghan was being racially abused in the press in the United Kingdom. He did nothing like that. He stayed quiet. He stayed mute. For matter of fact, he sent out his dogs after Meghan. Okay? So William, shut up, sit down, and have several sits. That's all I'm saying. Hypocrite. A real hypocrite. When I saw that, I said, look at that hypocrite William trying to save the day. It's just incredible. As I said, the Sussexes and them, they will be fine. They will be fine. We just have to continue praying for them, because what I've noticed of late, all these people that are coming for the Sussexes, I don't know, I saw that on Twitter somewhere, that there's a Sussex Karma out there, and it looks real. Every time they come for the Sussexes, they're always falling on their own sword. Whatever they do, when they dig holes for the Sussexes, they themselves are falling in their own hole. Okay, so when they're digging, they might as well dig one for themselves. Okay, so Harry and Meghan will be fine because they're good people. They're doing good things in the world. Everything they touch turns into gold. Everything they're involved with is a blessing to humanity. The people who are feeling grateful because of Harry and Meghan is just a beautiful thing to see. Okay, so Charles and Camilla, karma is also falling on them as well, because guess what? They were supposed to go, their planned trip that they had to France and Germany, that failed because there's protests in France right now. God works in mysterious ways, because Charles, he is going to France, the very place that Diana was killed. And why Diana was in France is because Charles had rejected her. She wanted her family. She wanted to be loved. Diana was removed from her home at 19 years old with an old man like Charles, somebody that is how many years older than her. And she felt lonely. They broke her down in that palace, and she felt lonely. I know it wasn't easy for that woman, giving birth to 2 children. God knows you need love when you're done giving birth to children. You need people there for you, and you are there and you're feeling isolated. You're feeling unloved. You're feeling vulnerable. And this man bit down that woman emotionally. and she eventually got out of there. But I know, given the opportunity, Diana would have chosen her children and her husband if she had the opportunity, but she was forced out, and she found herself with Dodi Fayed, and then she was in France. And that I don't even know if it's an accident. A lot of people say it's not an accident. A lot of people say otherwise, okay? And she lost her life in England, in France, excuse me. That should have never happened. And here, Charles and Camilla, his mistress, the woman that literally broke up his marriage, the woman that forced Diana out of her marriage and been, a unit with her children and her husband, he is going to France with her. And guess what? There's protest to the point that they had to cancel their trip. Tell me if that is not the working of God. If somebody tell me it is not, it is the working of God. I am ready to, I'm ready to bet that this is the working of God. God is sending a message to these people, and they are not listening. They are not hidden. What they have to do is go and apologize, as Harry said. All he's asking them to do. He's not asking them for a leg. He's not asking them for a limb. He's not asking them for their money. He is just asking for an apology for his wife and himself and how he was treated. That's all they have to do, is to apologize and get those, the curses lifted off of them. Because every time they step one, as they used to say, they always setting their feet right in England. The members of the royal family, they cannot set a foot right. Everything they do is backfiring. It's not working out. So they need to go ahead and atone for their sins and go to Harry and Meghan and ask them for an apology. Apologize to them. Not ask them, sorry, I said it wrong. They need to go to Harry and Meghan and apologize to them so that they can be walking on a clean slate out there, so that that bad luck that they have walking around with, those missteps that they're taking, comes to an end. Okay, so on that note, I just want to see what is going to happen in the future. If Charles is going to insist on going to France, after the riot is over, and then to Germany. But as I said, Charles is a head of state, and I had brought up that concern back, a few videos ago, that Charles is a head of state of so many, so many countries. And instead of going to those places where he has an obligation to, instead of going to those places, he is choosing to go to the very place, his first visit as king overseas. He's choosing with his mistress, choosing Camilla. He's choosing to go to France where his wife passed away. And this man is clueless. He doesn't read the room. I don't know. He doesn't read the room. Literally, we can see that you are taking your mistress to go on your first trip abroad to a place literally where your wife lost her life, and right now you're not in good standing with your son that literally grieved when his mother passed. Don't you see these people doesn't read the room? Don't you see that is a bad decision? Don't you see Charles should have gone to a sovereign state instead?